can't believe this. Get home. This gonna park at my garage in my house, and he don't pay no more bills. I know they gonna.
Hey, shout out to Juanita for the sub. Let's go, Juanita. Hello?
Yes.
Ooh, why you answer the phone talking about what? You mad at me?
Huh? Say what?
Why you answering? Huh?
Say what? My phone.
Yeah, fix that shit. I ain't heard from you in a while. Where you been?
Home.
You found
That's me in a while.
You found you a new nigga or something?
No. I was looking at something.
Oh, you missed it.
You are live.
Oh. What?
You lying.
Does it matter?
I'm just saying. You did that to me last time.
You hate to publicly acknowledge that you missed this or not?
It's not that. It's not knowing when I'm on live or not.
Do you live in LA? I'm moving out of LA. I'm moving out of LA.
They said it was just talk. They said it was cap. They said Nevaeh wouldn't really go there. And then she dropped the bombshell, and the internet froze like it just heard its government name called out loud. Because when Nevaeh speaks on Blueface, without stuttering, without walking it back, and without cushioning the truth, that's not drama, that's a controlled detonation. Within minutes, clips were everywhere. Chats were screaming, timelines were split down the middle, and right in the middle of the fallout, Stunna Girl losing patience, visibly unable to sit through the wreckage like this was another episode she didn't sign up to star in. One person exposing, one person spiraling, and Blueface suddenly at the center of a narrative he didn't get to edit. That's not coincidence, that's chaos with timing. This didn't feel like a rant. It felt like a receipt folder finally opened after being dragged across too many rooms. Calm delivery, sharp details, no filler, no fear. The kind of truth drop that makes the Kardashians look like they're arguing over who forgot to charge the ring light. And here's the scary part: when the bomb goes off and people don't rush to deny it, that's when you know something real just slipped past the gatekeepers. Buckle up, because once this story starts moving, nobody walks away clean. It didn't start with screaming. That's how you know it was real. No dramatic countdown, no shaky phone angles, no performative rage. Nevaeh spoke like someone who already made peace with the consequences. Calm voice, straight posture, eyes locked in. That's not clout-chasing energy, that's "I'm done protecting this" energy. And the moment she opened her mouth, the temperature in the room changed, because Nevaeh didn't tease. She dropped a bombshell with precision. Not messy, not scattered, organized. The kind of information that sounds rehearsed only because it's been replayed in someone's head 1,000 times before finally being released. She talked about patterns, not moments. Behaviors, not accidents. The internet clocked it instantly. This wasn't an emotional outburst. This was a timeline finally catching up to the truth. Blueface's name hovered over everything she said like a storm cloud that didn't need thunder to be felt. She didn't repeat it constantly. She didn't need to. Context did the heavy lifting. Every sentence felt like it was aimed at a history fans thought they understood but clearly didn't. And that's when the chat went quiet before it went feral. Silence first, then chaos. People started clipping in real time. Screenshots multiplied. Group chats lit up like emergency sirens. Because Nevaeh wasn't vague, she named dynamics. She described control dressed up as confidence. Loyalty demanded, not earned. Apologies that never landed. Promises that evaporated the moment the cameras turned off. It sounded less like gossip, and more like an internal memo that accidentally went public, and then the camera cut to Stunna Girl's reaction, and that's where everything cracked. You could see it on her face before she moved. That tight jaw, that stare that says, "I did not sign up for this episode." Stunna didn't interrupt. She didn't argue. She didn't defend. She couldn't take it. She shifted. She stood. She removed herself from the blast radius like someone who knew the building was about to collapse. That walk-off spoke louder than any denial ever could. In internet culture, leaving is louder than yelling. It's the move you make when the truth is too close for comfort. Fans clocked it instantly, because if this was cap, Stunna would have laughed it off. If this was exaggeration, she would have rolled her eyes. But she didn't. She exited. Clean. Immediate. Surgical. And that's when people stopped asking if Nevaeh was lying and started asking how long this had been sitting under the surface. The background matters here. Nevaeh isn't a random voice. She's not a blogger chasing clicks. She's been close enough to see what the public doesn't. And that proximity gives weight to words. When someone inside the circle starts talking, the narrative shifts from rumor to rupture. Because insiders don't gain much from burning bridges unless the bridges were already on fire. As Nevaeh kept talking, the sarcasm crept in, not playful, but sharp. The kind that slices instead of entertains. She didn't insult Blueface directly. She didn't have to. She described situations so clearly that the audience filled in the blanks themselves. And when the audience does the math, the conclusion feels earned. That's dangerous for anyone on the receiving end. Fans immediately started rewinding the past. Old lives, old interviews, old jokes that now landed differently. Moments once defended as chaotic fun suddenly looked calculated. The internet loves a rewatch when a new lens drops, and Nevaeh handed them a brand new prescription. Meanwhile, Blueface was nowhere to be found. No instant response. No emergency live. No, that's cap post fired into the void. And silence, in moments like this, isn't neutral. It's suspicious. The longer he stayed quiet, the more Nevaeh's words filled the space he left open. Absence became implication. What made this hit harder was Nevaeh's restraint. She didn't cry. She didn't spiral. She didn't try to rally the chat to her side. She spoke, paused, and let the weight sit. That's not how people act when they're bluffing. That's how people act when they've already processed the fallout privately and are just letting the public catch up. Stunna's disappearance from the frame became its own headline. Fans replayed the moment she left like it was a game-winning shot. Frame by frame. Body language breakdowns. Think pieces titled like they were decoding a political resignation. People asked the same question over and over. If this was nothing, why did it feel like everything? The first wave of reactions split fast. Some accused Nevaeh of betrayal, saying family business should stay behind closed doors. Others praised her for finally saying what everyone tiptoed around. But even the critics struggled to poke holes in the substance. They questioned motive, timing, intent, but not accuracy. And that's the problem once credibility sticks. Damage follows. As the live ended, the fallout began. Clips detached from context but somehow still hit harder. Each repost added commentary. Each commentary added heat. The story wasn't just trending, it was mutating. And at the center of it all sat Blueface, silent, while two women's reactions told opposite stories. One spoke, one left. Both said enough. This wasn't the explosion. This was the warning siren. The kind that goes off right before the building gives way. Because when someone drops a bomb and the closest people don't rush to defend, you don't have a scandal. You have a reckoning, and the internet could feel it. Once Nevaeh's bombshell left the live and hit the timeline, the internet did not digest it calmly. It inhaled it, choked on it, and immediately demanded more. This is the phase where chaos graduates into spectacle, where truth, exaggeration, memes, and moral outrage all jump into the same blender and nobody bothers to put the lid on. Clips spread faster than context. 10-second sound bites started living independent lives, stripped of tone but somehow heavier than the full video. One line became a headline. One pause became a conspiracy. The algorithm did what it does best: reward outrage with reach. And suddenly Nevaeh's words weren't just being heard, they were being interpreted, which is where things always get dangerous. Memes arrived like clockwork. You had edits of Nevaeh speaking calmly over dramatic movie scores, like she was narrating the downfall of a dynasty. You had freeze frames of Stunna Girl mid-walk-off with captions like, "When the truth shows up uninvited." People laughed, but it wasn't light laughter. It was that nervous kind you make when something feels too real to process straight. celebrity reactions slid in sideways. No names, no tags, just suspiciously timed posts about knowing when to leave, choosing peace over chaos, and "Not everyone deserves access to you." The subtweets were screaming. Everyone knew who the smoke was for, even if nobody dared to say it directly. That's how you know a story has crossed into industry awareness. And then there was Blueface's continued silence, which by this point felt less like strategy and more like fuel. Every minute without a response let the narrative stretch its legs. Fans stopped asking if he would respond and started asking why he hadn't. Was he regrouping? Lawyered up? Shocked? Or just watching the mess unfold, hoping it would burn itself out? Stunna Girl's reaction became the emotional center of this phase. People didn't just see her walk away, they projected meaning onto it. Some said she couldn't handle hearing the truth out loud. Others said she already knew and didn't want to be caught on camera validating it. A few claimed she was protecting herself from being dragged into a mess she didn't create. The point is, everyone read that exit as intentional. And intentional actions become evidence in the court of public opinion. Nevaeh, on the other hand, stayed quiet. No victory lap. No follow-up live. No clarification tour. And that silence hit different than Blueface's. Hers felt complete. Like, she said what she needed to say and wasn't interested in convincing anyone. That restraint made people lean in harder. Because when someone doesn't chase validation, their words gain weight over time instead of losing it. Public outrage fractured into camps. One side praised Nevaeh for finally breaking the cycle, saying she exposed behavior people excused for too long. Another side accused her of airing family business and doing damage that couldn't be undone. But even in the criticism, something stood out. Most people argued about whether she should have spoken, not whether what she said was true. That distinction quietly tilted the scale. Pop culture comparisons went nuclear. People said this felt like a reality show where the scriptwriter quit and everyone started freelancing their trauma on live. Others joked that this made celebrity love triangles look like high school drama club. The exaggerations were wild, but the underlying sentiment was serious. This didn't feel staged. It felt like something that slipped out before the usual damage control could kick in. Old footage resurfaced with new captions and new meaning. Interviews once labeled playful now felt tense. Jokes people laughed off suddenly sounded sharp. The internet loves rewriting history when new information drops, and Nevaeh gave them the pen. Nothing survived untouched. Even moments unrelated to her claims got pulled into the storm as patterns and signs. Comment sections turned into war zones. Not over facts, but over loyalty. Who owes who silence? Who gets to speak? Who waited too long? It stopped being about Blueface alone and became a broader debate about power dynamics, fame, and who always ends up protecting chaos while calling it love. The pressure started showing in how people around Blueface moved. Fewer public interactions. Less visible support. The usual loud digital crowd grew noticeably quieter. And in internet culture, silence from supporters is louder than noise from critics. It signals hesitation, distance, uncertainty. By the end of this phase, the story had outgrown the original bombshell. It wasn't about one statement anymore. It was about reaction patterns. Who stayed? Who left? Who spoke? Who didn't? Behavior became the storyline, and once that happens, no explanation ever fully catches up. This wasn't escalation for entertainment. This was escalation because the audience felt like something fundamental had cracked. And once that crack forms, everything that follows only widens it. When the noise finally dipped below a roar, what remained wasn't relief, it was residue. This is the part of the scandal that doesn't trend as loudly but lasts the longest. The part where reputations don't implode on camera. They wear down in public, slowly, relentlessly, and once wear sets in, no amount of spin brings the shine back. Blueface didn't lose the internet in one moment. He lost it in inches. Each hour of silence after Nevaeh's bombshell turned into another inch gone. Not because people demanded a response, but because they stopped expecting one. That shift is fatal. When the audience moves from "what's his side?" to of course he won't say anything, the story stops being about defense and starts being about pattern. Every old clip suddenly carried footnotes. Confidence became control. Jokes became deflection. Chaos stopped reading as personality and started reading as strategy. The same traits that once made headlines now made people uncomfortable. Context is a brutal editor, and Nevaeh's words gave it a fresh blade. Stunna Girl's reaction aged like a time stomp. The walk-off wasn't just a moment anymore, it became a reference point. Anytime a new clip surfaced, fans would bring it back up like a silent witness. Remember when she left? Turned into shorthand for everything and said. That's the power of exits. They don't argue, they conclude, and Stunna didn't rush to clean it up. No follow-up explanations. No defensive posts. No y'all reading too much into it. That absence hardened the symbolism. Whether she meant it that way or not, the internet crowned her exit as self-preservation in motion. A choice. A line drawn without ink. Nevaeh's role solidified into something even more disruptive. She didn't become a hero or a villain, she became a reference. The person people point to when they talk about what finally tipped the balance. And what unsettled critics the most was that she didn't chase applause. No merch drops. No interview tour. No monetized aftermath. She spoke once and let the consequences breathe. That restraint turned her bombshell into a slow burn instead of a flash. Each day that passed without contradiction made her words heavier. Each time someone close to Blueface acted differently, the theory web tightened. People stopped dissecting her delivery and started watching everyone else's behavior for confirmation. The relationships around Blueface didn't shatter, they thinned. Fewer tags. Less visible enthusiasm, the kind of quiet distance that doesn't announce itself but changes the room temperature. Support doesn't vanish loudly, it hesitates. And hesitation is where doubt lives. Public perception shifted from fascination to fatigue, which is far more dangerous than outrage. Outrage still clicks. Fatigue scrolls past. When the audience feels like they've seen this episode before, curiosity turns into indifference. And indifference is the one thing no public figure can argue with. What made this aftermath heavier was the lack of closure. No definitive denial. No clear rebuttal that landed. No single moment where the narrative reset. Just silence, selective engagement, and carefully chosen moves that looked more defensive than confident. And when explanations feel managed instead of honest, the internet smells it immediately. This scandal also recalibrated how future moments will land. Every disagreement from here on out will be read as evidence. Every live will be watched for tension instead of entertainment. Every joke will be checked against history. There is no clean slate after exposure, only annotations that follow you into every new headline. Fans didn't stop watching. They started observing, less cheering, more noting, waiting for inconsistencies, looking for the moment where behavior betrays the narrative. Once people switch into that mode, they don't switch back easily. The wildest part, the loudest moment wasn't Nevaeh speaking. It was what happened after she stopped. The silence, the exits, the choices made off camera. That's where the real story wrote itself. Because scandals don't end when the mic drops. They end when behavior aligns or doesn't, and in this case, alignment told a story nobody could fully deny. One person spoke. One person left. One person stayed quiet. 3 moves. 1 narrative. That's not coincidence. That's consequence. This wasn't a finale. It was a marker. A before and after line etched into public memory. The kind that doesn't scream anymore because it doesn't have to. It just waits. And judging by how carefully everyone is moving now, they know it too. Because when a bombshell lands and the dust settles this unevenly, the next chapter doesn't need an announcement. The audience is already watching for the tremor that tells them it's starting again. Now, don't lie if you're still here. This story didn't just entertain you, it hooked you. This wasn't background noise you let play while scrolling. This was the kind of bombshell that makes you pause, rewind, and say, yeah, something shifted. And when narratives shift like that, they don't snap back into place. So if this had you raising an eyebrow, Smash that like button like it owes you money and just changed its username. Drop your take in the comments, because this situation is layered, messy, and everybody sees it differently. Was Nevaeh finally saying what everyone else tiptoed around? Did Stunna walking off say more than any statement ever could? And did Blueface's silence answer questions louder than words ever would? Say it with your chest. The comment section is where the real aftermath lives. And hit that subscribe button right now, because scandals don't come with release dates. 1 minute it's calm, the next minute somebody goes live, somebody walks off, and the internet flips upside down. If you blink, you miss a whole chapter. And over here, we don't do late reactions. We catch the shockwaves while they're still moving, turn on notifications so you're not confused when the next ripple hits and everyone else already picked sides. Because let's be real, this story didn't end. It just settled into silence. And silence is where the loudest truths hide. Drama doesn't fade, it ripples, and when it does, you already know where to be. Fame ripple where the bombshells land, the silence speaks, and the truth never stops spreading.